Good morning. Welcome to Bridging Souls. This is still very new to me. I'm not used to being vulnerable like this. But this is kind of like a part 2 from yesterday's video because I received a lot of messages from friends, not the general public, but from friends, just mentioning how they resonated with me in setting boundaries and how hard it is for specifically women to say no. I don't know how men feel because I didn't hear any feedback from men. The feedback that I did hear was only women. And how hard it is for us women to say no. We need to learn how to say no. We're not saying no out of a place of distance. We're not saying no out of a position of not caring. When you say no, make sure that your no comes from your heart. And when it does, people will feel it. And if they don't, then it shouldn't really matter to you. When you speak from the heart and the other person doesn't understand, it's not that they're not understanding you. It's that they're looking at your no from their own life perspective. Nobody looks at you with your life perspective. You're the only person in the world that's going to look at your own life and truly understand your no. They're going to look at it from their own perspective. And that's not just with the no's, that's with anything in life. Anything in life. There's a difference between giving them a news and giving them information. And some people, we just need to give out the news. And then with some people, we can give out the news plus information. And then with some people, we can give the news, the information, and be vulnerable. With most people, we just give out the news. And nowadays, when it comes to our children, we feel the need to just protect. Until when? Until when? When is the appropriate age for them to become independent, autonomous, vulnerable? I find that children nowadays aren't making connections. They're not making friends. Even us adults, it's hard to make friends because we're not set up in that environment. And I don't want to drill around a little bit of everything. But in the end of the day, when you say no to someone and that person doesn't understand your no, don't judge that person. Oh, I said I couldn't have lunch at your house and you got upset at me. Okay, if you felt that person got upset, then let them be upset. Because their opinion of you is based on their life experiences. It's not based on yours. Only I know my life experiences. So if someone is judging me, they're not judging me for who I am, what I live, what my problems are, what I'm going through. They are judging me based on their environment, their life experience, how they felt at the moment. And that's none of my business. So who am I to judge? And I'm going to use the example of being invited for somebody's lunch. Friend A invited me to her house, and on that day I was feeling very tired. And the person, and I say, hey, I'm so sorry. I know I was supposed to go over for lunch today, but I'm feeling very tired. I gave them a news. I didn't give them any information. I was protecting myself. And if that person just said, wow, I had so much work making all this food, taking time off from my family, from my kids to make you this meal, and why didn't you tell me before that you weren't coming? Or being all judgy. And let them be. Just give them space. As much space as they need. Because in the end of the day, in this specific example, that person is frustrated for whatever reason with their life. And they're taking it off on you. And that energy comes from their environment. It doesn't come from yours. It comes from their life moments. It doesn't come from yours. So don't judge. Just, like I tell my daughter, take a deep breath. Acknowledge the thought. That person's judging me. I'm not going to think about it, and let it go. And I promise you, it works. Just let it go. Let it go. If you are important to that person will come back to you, will reconnect with you. If that person decides that you're not important enough to come back, then that's good too. Breathe. Acknowledge the thought. And let it go. Just let it go. It's amazing how it works. I promise you it works. When it comes to our children, it's a little bit harder because nowadays, us mothers, we are just so used to protecting. Oh my God, I can't. I'm gonna drive my son. I'm gonna drive my son to the club at 2 a.m. and I'm gonna go pick him up at 6 a.m. and I'm gonna do that every single Saturday until he gets married, because I don't want my son drinking and driving. I don't want my son or my daughter out in unvulnerable or non-safety environments. Oh my God, how is that child going to learn responsibility? How are they going to learn that they should not be drinking and driving? How are they going to learn that you're supposed to be using an Uber app? How are they going to learn responsibility if you keep on protecting them, even in adulthood? That's you need to say no. You need to say no. So when a pigeon has a little birdie, she goes out, collects little sticks, leaves, finds cotton, spider webs, and before she lays the egg, she places this amazing, very, very soft nest to lay her egg in. And then the little baby birdie comes out of the egg, and shortly after, the mama pigeon starts removing the leaves, removing the cotton, removing the comfort, and leaves the sticks. Why? Because she wants the baby pigeon to learn how to fly. And if that nest is always very comfortable and very soft and very cozy, that pigeon will never learn how to fly. We need to learn how to say no. We need to learn how to remove the cotton, remove the leaves, remove the most rounded sticks slowly so that our children can fly. And by removing those little cottons and those little sticks, we're saying no. We're saying no, mama can't get you. You can install an app on your phone, or you can decide not to drink, or you can bring that sober friend of yours that doesn't drink. Everybody has a friend that doesn't drink. There's all of these things that we can do to let them learn responsibility and autonomy and independence and accountability and respect. I have a 17-year-old, and I removed everything. And I didn't remove it all at once, but I removed everything. And he needs to learn how to make mistakes, because how is he going to grow up in this world if he doesn't know how to make mistakes? Oh my gosh, people, mothers of this world, please, let's learn how to say no, okay? So that we can live in peace, so that we can conserve our energy for our well-being too. And I know that there's a lot of mothers with a lot of problems. There's children that are on drugs. There's children that are stealing. And my message is not for all mothers. There are exceptions. But every mother should protect their own energy, should conserve their own energy for their own self-healing, for their own well-being. That's the message of today. I love you girls so much. Ciao.